Mabuhay! Welcome back to our channel. This is Daryll again. In today's video, I'm going to help you ace your interview with either the Ministry of Education, beta program, or any related programs that you want to apply to. But before we get right into the video, let me introduce myself. Yo soy Daryll. Yo soy Filipino y vivo aquí en Madrid. So you guys probably know that I do a lot of content related to language learning, but at the same time, I'm a full-time language assistant here in Madrid, so I teach English as well. So I hope that you don't unsubscribe to our channel just because I'm doing other things as well. In this video for today, I'm gonna help you ace your interviews with either the Ministry, Beta, Conversa, if you are Filipino. If you're Filipino who's watching this video, or if you're not, then this video is going to help you. So, yun nga mga Mars. So, from the previous videos that you've watched from our channel, we've discussed about what we're gonna earn if we are a language assistant, and also the things that we could expect. But now, I'm gonna teach you some things that you could apply if they ask you some specific questions related to teaching. Kasi these days, hindi na yung uso yung can you tell us something about your experience? Hindi na siya ganon. So, what they do is they try to assess your capacity to think about certain situations, and they want to know if you can act appropriately or you could easily ace anything in class, because not everything's good. Sometimes things happen, kid just jumps from wherever and suddenly broke his arm. So here I've got some list of things and questions that you can think about. Obviously, I'm not gonna tell you the answer because we're not spoon feeding here, girl. Ganda ka! Some programs, they're gonna give you a list of possible topics that you need to think about and prepare for your interview. Some of them is just really spontaneous. And so since the programs have been evolving, now they are more structured, and I guess they are more specific when it comes to dealing with this kind of activities. So
let's get ready to rumble!
So here's number one. So for example, the teacher asks you to look for a kind of activity and you're collaborating with him or with her. They're gonna ask you, for example, they're gonna put like a grammar topic related to museum. So how can you teach the things that you can see in the museum? What kind of grammar can you incorporate? And how are you gonna teach this kind of topic to 4th graders, for example? Paano mo yun ituturo? So, dapat alam mo kung ano yung mga dapat mong ilagay. So, kung present tense ba siya or past tense. So, maging specific ka. So, magpe-prepare ka ng something, activity related to that. So, yun yung dapat nating gawin. Age appropriate dapat. May specific grammar topic. And also, yung communicative objective ay dapat ding ma-meet. So, yun dapat yung alamin natin. Okay? Pangalawa, so they sometimes say, it's really important to have routine in class. So, how are you gonna do that if you are dealing with rowdy or naughty kids in 1st grade, for example? So, paano mo yun i-establish? So, most of the time, I would tell my friends or people who ask me questions about it, just give them some examples, and if you have some related experiences, you can also tell them on how you approach that. Paano mo siya i-approach? Ganun siya. Okay? Number 3 is like if your school asks you about a particular celebration or holiday in your country, what kind of celebration or topic would you want to bring in class? And for example, you need to discuss a particular topic with 6th graders. So, how are you gonna discuss that? Karamihan, minsan nagpapa-describe sila na, magdala ka ng something from the Philippines and you have to do a PowerPoint related to that. So, how are you gonna describe it? Yung mga ganong tanong, dapat pinaghahandaan nyo din. So, for example, you may talk about, for example, I'm from Rizal. I'm going to, sorry.
It's not your fault.
I just ate. I'm gonna talk about something related to rice cakes because, you know, like, we're close to Cainta and I live in Taytay. So, Cainta, which is the Kakanin region, like, a lot of people buy kakanin from this area. So I will talk about different rice cakes and why we do a lot of those. It's because we're an agricultural country and we have a lot of products related to rice and also coconut milk. So you can also try to do something similar, but something that you already know or you're familiar with. Still have 15 minutes to finish your class, but you see that most of your students have already gone wild. They've finished everything. So what are you gonna do? So sometimes when you bring something in class, it's either that the students finish earlier or they still need time. Most of them, they're like really quick. So what are you gonna do with those 15 minutes? Do you have any game? So you have to think about it. There are times when, for example, you talk about the solar system or you talk about systems of the body. So you've been discussing all those things for like 4 days now, and a teacher asks you, can you bring something like an activity that could actually help the students understand the systems of the body more? So how are you gonna do that? Are you gonna bring something like tangible? Are you just gonna show them a video? Are you gonna make an art activity with them? Obviously, you can do anything, but you need to ask the teacher. Always collaborate with the teacher if you can do this and that. So think about those things and also try to have initiative to ask the teacher if you can do that in class because they really appreciate it. You don't have to like just always wait for them to tell you the things that you need to do. So this year, I'm working with the infants a lot. They are from my group is 3-year-olds and 5-year-olds, and there is what we called phonics. So phonics is basically helping the young learners learn the sounds, not the letter, of the word that we want them to learn. Okay, like for example, if you want to teach them apple, so you want to teach them the sound a for apple. Okay, you don't teach them like a. Okay, so it's different. So we teach them the sound. And some teachers ask you like, oh, can you do phonics related to this sound? For example, S. So we don't teach the students S. You teach them the sound S, S, S. So you basically do this snake. S, S, S. Okay, so think about all those letters that starts with the S sound. You'll be asked about classroom management. Obviously, as language assistants, it's not really our job to always manage the class because we have our teachers who need to do that because they are the main teachers. We're just helping them. So sometimes they ask you about how are you gonna handle naughty kids in class. What are your strategies for them to actually learn faster and concentrate more, and basically help the teachers also. How are you going to discipline them? So do you have any techniques or do you have anything that you did in the past that could also help the kids? So comment down below. Comment down below your answer, guys. We did different questions. So if you want to write the questions that I asked you about and also the answer, and let's see, probably you have more ideas and better ideas that we could share to our fellow Filipinos who want to apply in the program. Most of the time, teachers would ask you to prepare for speaking activities because as language assistants, we are the language model. We're not the language model. It's not like a Vogue model, even if I try to. Like, I'm the model. Sometimes I try to, but yeah. Obviously, I'm working with infants right now, so they just look at me, they stare at me, and so they don't really care about what you do. But like with primary school students or ESO, secondary school students, probably they're gonna notice that more if you do things like this. Anyway, if you prepare for speaking activities, is it more of like group activities or one-on-one or by pairs? Was the technique better? How are you learning English or other languages? So think about that situation, and it would really help you think of activities. And also, in the future, we're gonna teach you some websites wherein you can take some ideas on where to get your PowerPoints and also resources so that I can share it with you guys in our channel. And yeah, so basically those are some of the questions that I think could help you in order for you to ace your interview with either the Beta, Ministry, Conversa, Medeas, or in whichever program you want to apply to. So guys, comment down below your answers to our questions for today. Those are just like hypothetical questions. So these days, they don't just ask you about who you are and what your experiences are. They give you situations. So thank you so much guys for watching our video today. I hope that you learned something. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't, girl. It's gonna help me a lot. Anyway, aside from this, I also do content about the Spanish language. And yeah, I hope that you guys learned something, and I'm gonna see you soon. Ciao!